So you're freaking out because your partner wants a threesome and you don't know what to do about it. And you don't know what it means. All right, I'm Beth Darling, your sexy genius, and I have got some things that I think will help you a lot in dealing with this. All right, so first of all, I want you to calm down a little bit and recognize just because your partner wants a threesome doesn't mean they don't love you, doesn't mean that they're gay, doesn't mean that they really want to date other people. It actually doesn't necessarily mean anything except that your partner is thinking about a threesome. That's all right? Now, I want you to get some answers about what it means, but don't assume anything. So now that they've broached this to you, here's what I want you to do. I want you, first of all, to go to them. Even if they told you about this several months ago and you're just now seeing this video, all right? I want you to go to your partner, if you haven't already, and thank them for sharing what they want with you. Because, folks, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of trust in your relationship. It takes a lot of faith for a partner to admit and to ask for what they want, right? Whether your partner's male or female. So please go to them right away and just, even if it was months ago, and just say, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I was surprised. I didn't quite know, but I realized I'm really grateful that you were able to share this with me. And I know that that means it's okay for me to ask you for different things. And we're gonna talk this through and we're gonna figure out, I don't know for sure if we're gonna do it, if we're not gonna do it, but I love that we can talk about this together, right? Because that's what a good relationship is. You can consider things. Doesn't mean you have to do them all, but you consider them. And frankly, just talking about a threesome can be all sorts of sexy fun for your relationship. So, all right, so now you're gonna thank them first. Now, okay, the next thing is, before you decide, before you make any rash decisions, before you get naked with anybody else, actually, I want you to slow down. And here are some questions that I think that you should ask your partner, okay, with no judgment. Okay, I don't even want you necessarily to respond other than, okay, can you tell me more, right? I want you to really focus on listening and learning, because a threesome means different things to different people. It just does. So let's find out what your partner wants so that you make a good decision, right? There are a lot of people who skip this step and just are like, oh, sure, threesome sounds good. They wind up doing that. And well, I told you how many, 80, 90% of people want this threesome. Threesome gone wrong is also one of the most popular, sexy fails. It just is, because we don't do it smart. And I want you to do it smart. So, all right, so now I want you to ask some questions. Now, the very first question is, ask your partner and assure them that you're just trying to learn, that you're not trying to judge, you're not trying to draw opinions, and you're not gonna hold anything against them, right? This is a safe place. The first thing is, ask them when they say they want a threesome, what does that look like to them? Okay, now this might be hard to hear, okay, but it's important. And so, for one, what does that look like? Is it, male, male, female? Is it male, female, female? What are they thinking about? Do they have somebody specific in mind? That's a really dangerous question, but I think it's important. And again, try to control. If you've got jealousy issues and stuff, we're gonna get to that in another video. But for right now, you're just trying to take things in, and you're trying to just stay neutral. Be like, okay. And you can tell them, this is a little hard for me to hear. Just please, I'm not judging. It's just hard. It's uncomfortable. It's awkward. I don't know whether to laugh or, whatever. So please don't judge. And frankly, we'll talk about how to have difficult conversations. So subscribe to this channel, by the way, and hit the little notice alarm bell so that you get noticed of all the different videos that I put, because I will put one about how to have hard conversations. And there's some very simple, easy tricks to that make it so much easier. So, all right, you're gonna ask them to describe, what does this look like? Is this like somebody that you then begin a relationship with? Is this kind of a one-off? Is this something you do at your house? Is this something they think you do at a hotel? And they don't have to give answers for everything. Just tell them whatever they've got in their mind already. That's all you want to know. You're not asking them to create it now or to back them into a corner about something. You just want to know, what have they been thinking of? When they imagine it, what are they imagining? All right, that's what you want to know. Okay, then the next thing is that ask them why it's coming up now, particularly, okay? Because that can say a lot. It might be that your relationship, if you're not already committed for long term, it might be that your relationship is getting to the point of getting more serious, and this is something that's been on their bucket list, and they want to make sure that that's a possibility for them if they go further down the road with you. It might be that, hell, if you've been together a long time, maybe it's that your partner is finally, like they say, oh, I've been thinking about this for so long and I finally just found the confidence to ask you, or I finally thought our relationship was strong enough that I could talk to you about this, that it might be something that we could actually handle together. So you might find some good stuff there, because again, trusting you with this request is huge. You might hear, well, we've just been doing the same thing and I'm a little bit bored. I know, like, that's not the answer that we all love, and I get it, but it is important to hear, because again, what that might tell you is maybe a threesome is a good thing, or maybe there's some other things you could do before you sort of bring a third in. Again, because I don't want you to have a third as a fail. I don't want this to be a bad experience for you. Threesomes can be tons of fun, tons and tons of fun when done correctly. Threesomes can be deadly when they're not, okay? So go slow. And again, you're just trying to get information, and why this is coming up for them now is definitely important. Maybe they just saw some sexy show, maybe somebody else was talking about it, maybe they watched another video, you know, there's all sorts of reasons they can do it, but you want to kind of know why. And then you kind of want to know, oh, maybe it's that their 50th birthday's coming up, or their 40th birthday, or, you know, something, and there's a deadline that they're thinking about that is helpful for you to know, okay? So ask them that. Then ask them, how do they think doing a threesome would affect your relationship? Just ask it just like that, okay? We're not trying to put words in their mouth. We're not trying to say it's bad. Maybe they're gonna say, I'm really worried about it. Maybe they're gonna say, I really think this is gonna be a good thing, but just ask them and listen and take in their perspective, because their perspective matters just as much as your perspective, right? I'm not discounting yours. I'm just saying that we need to get more information, and that's going to help you figure out what's good for you, and how to deal with it within the relationship, okay? So then you're going to end by asking your partner if it's okay for you to take some time to think about it. You're not blowing them off. You're not saying, hell yeah. You're not saying, hell no. You're not blowing them off. You're not trying to ignore. You're not trying to sweep it under the rug. But ask if you could have a specific set amount of time, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, whatever it is that works for you, maybe 3 days, you know, whatever it is. But just say, okay, this is a lot. I appreciate it. Again, I'm really glad. I want to share my thoughts with you, but I kind of need to collect my thoughts first. Can we come back to this in 3 days, a week, 3 weeks, whatever, and talk about it again before we make any rash decisions, okay? Because that way they feel heard, they feel seen, they understand, and you can say, and in the meanwhile, you can talk to me if you think of anything else you want me to know, and meanwhile, if I have questions or I have thoughts, I'll share them with you. But again, we're gonna have a serious conversation, even if it's not our final decision making, again, in a certain period of time. Because otherwise, especially if you're living together and you've been together a long time, you can just be like, oh yeah, we'll get to it, and 3 months later, but by then they're feeling pretty pissed because they went out of their way to share this big thing with you, and they're getting nothing back, and it's been a long time, okay? So set a time period, that way both of you know you're not every day going, oh, today are we gonna talk today, whatever. There's a deadline. Makes everybody feel so much better. All right, so I think if you start with these questions, the thank you and these questions, I think you will find that no matter what happens, you are actually on the way to increasing the intimacy, the intimate emotional connection between you and your partner, no matter what, because these kinds of conversations are really hard. They're really important. And I think with these questions, you're gonna get a lot of information, and you're gonna let them feel very safe. Hug them, kiss them, tell them you love them, and then you'll talk to them again in a few weeks. And Meanwhile, I'm Beth Darling, your sexy genius. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notice button, the little bell, so that you get noticed of all the videos. And hopefully we'll have several more videos that you can watch as you're thinking about this. And that way, by the time you and your partner decide, if you decide to go have a threesome, you're gonna have lots of information, lots of help, lots of connection, a very strong bond to help you make it a very successful, loving, rewarding, fulfilling, exciting, sexy, fun time. I'm Beth Darling, your sexy genius. Big hugs and love, and I will see you soon.